Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of A Drink with
Mary
and Mina. And today we have a special guest.
Hi!
We have Supriya. So we usually start our podcast with telling the viewers our choice of drinks today. You went on the way to Starbucks.
Yeah, I did indeed.
What did you get? Is it matcha latte?
Yeah, so it's matcha latte with oat milk.
Yes, oat milk.
Yeah, I love oat milk. Actually, I don't know soya maramron, but I prefer oat milk. So yeah,
I love oat milk as well. I'm on a glow tonic streak.
Last one. Maybe last one.
What's
yeah.
that?
It's a glow tonic.
Basically, she bought a pack of tea and a glow tonic. They're supposed to be good for hair, nails, and everything.
Oh, okay.
But she was struggling to finish it. She was never drinking it. So she brought it here so that she could, every episode, she could drink one tea bag just to finish the whiskey. And it's taken her months and months. And this is the last one. So
my God, congratulations!
You're actually at a very historical
moment.
I'm glad to be a part of it.
Thank you. Will I purchase again?
Review next episode.
Oh God.
My choice of tea is proper Nepali milky tea because my mom boiled the tea, the milk that my dad got by accident that expires tomorrow, so she's saving it by boiling it. But yeah, and we have our little snacks. We usually have a cheese board, but I think it's a bit early for
breakfast. And behind camera we've got Sudip, who's a lovely friend of ours.
Are we revealing his thing?
He has a thing.
Wasn't Sudip supposed to be one of the original members?
Yes,
of Sinerji?
he was. So Sudip was one of it, but he was the first one to back out as well. Just saying.
Wow! I kicked him out.
No, Tara, it was with respect. He was like, "This is not for me. It's not what I envisioned," and which is fair. But Sudip has a YouTube channel. We probably will link it here. Please like, share, subscribe, and just roast him there. Why did you leave on it? But yeah, so today we'll be talking about a lot of topics. I hope you're ready with your drink. Firstly, we'd like to welcome Dr. Supriya officially.
Yes.
It's so lovely to be here. I don't know if you want to say chance.
Doctor, you're burning like you.
No, I thought this was my chance to speak. But anyway, continue.
I love this energy. She was not kidding, guys. Oh my God.
Just context, right before we started filming, Meisha was telling me not to talk too much because during our
previous
episode, the travel one, I was speaking more than the guests. So we were like, okay, we'll need to calm down a little bit today. But yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So yeah, like they've already mentioned, I'm Supriya. I'm a doctor in the NHS. That's it really, that's me.
Well, you apart from being in the NHS and that's your, about paid profession, you are like one of the founders of Gorkha Health Foundation.
Yes, I do.
And Medbridge as well.
Yeah, and Medbridge.
Yeah. So Gorkha Health Foundation, it's more of a non-profit organization that me and my friends, we started this year. So it's been like a lifelong sort of dream for us, and we kind of thought when we started uni, because we're in the healthcare professional field, we always thought we want to give something, back to the community, and we always thought like maybe education is the best way to make people more informed, more aware. Like यतिकै गयो क्या समय अनि बल्ल I think exactly, and then I was just like, do you know what, if we don't start it now, we're never going to start it. So then I knew that my close friends were really like involved in would want to be involved in such a thing, so I contacted them, and then we got together, and then we just went, okay, let's just do it. And then now I think we're 5th month running. So we do like one health topic every month, unless obviously in one of these talks, if people have a suggestion in terms of topic, then we're more than happy to cover it. Unless someone said COVID ko चाहिँ गरेको छुइन क्या, because it was quite stressful and frustrating. And I thought that COVID ko barema, like I think we want to give people some time to adjust. Exactly. So we will probably cover COVID as well, because from my own experience, they've been hit really hard with COVID, like lost lots of people and so on. And it's just nice it's not going to be more of an education talk, it's more of a friendly talk to just kind of numb things.
It's like
and
sharing experiences.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly. Ani MERI Bridge moving on, me and my friends, we co-founded that because when we came, because I was an international graduate back home, so I graduated in Bulgaria. So when I came over here, the process was obviously very unknown to me. And we kind of had to figure things out on our own, and then essentially to help other people who wants to come over to the UK, not just from European universities, from like international, like India, Nepal, we have helped a few from Nepal as well. So just to kind of bridge that gap to come into the UK and work as a doctor in NHS, because system is so different.
That's wonderful. It is wonderful because one of the boynies that I know, she's actually in Bulgaria as well.
Oh, really?
Now. So I think she's in her second year now. She's like, oh my god, the day is difficult, struggling. So I assume after you graduated, you just don't want that another stress in your head. And then I'm glad that you're doing this service essentially to help them, like a smooth
peer-to-peer support.
Exactly. So
I think a lot of Nepalese are going to Bulgaria to get their doctor's degree and everything.
There's a lot. I'm a University of Burma. I think there was like 10 or 11 who graduated this year. So congratulations to them.
Oh yeah, well
you know who you are.
Well done.
More doctors.
More doctors. Your parents are proud of you.
Sure.
And they won't visit the doctors though, but they are proud of you.
You know, the thing is, right, like when you're a doctor, in the family, like they don't care when they don't have that. Exactly.
Lot,
like I'm telling my mum and Sunny, oh mom, don't eat this, don't eat that, and Sunny, but my mom's like, because she reads a lot of books as well, she's quite like nutritionally very aware, so she ends up telling me what to do, and I'm just like, what's the point of me being a doctor?
It's the mum in you. My mum never stops being a mum. That's probably
exactly.
And also, all these new, I wouldn't call them fad because they might work. Like these new treatments, new things called when again. Like sometimes natural remedies and all that actually work. They are the first ones to get their hands onto that thing, and I'm like, okay.
Oh my god, did your parents go through this whole Jamala juice thing?
Yes.
I know my
parents
did,
but I know a few people did.
So they started growing, Jamala dosima thing. So apparently it's meant to be nutritious, helped with diet and lowers cholesterol, whatever, whatnot.
What? Really?
Please research into it.
Oh my god.
We'd like to know if it's actually...
Nepali, they were like the bara bit like the bara.
Oh, the salad master.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was such a disaster.
Did you
we ended up, we did. I know. I was quite young, so I was like, do whatever you want to do. Send it to mom and dad. But I'm just like, this is the worst money waster ever.
So that's so weird because like one of my friends, she has it and she loves it.
Oh really?
Yeah, because she's like, it's not the fact that it's healthy, Wema, but the longevity of it. Because she's had it since 2013, and until now it's been like 9-10 years. So she didn't have to replace any other pants, so she likes it for that reason. But not for the reason they were actually selling it
for. Interesting.
So has your parents replaced the balas or no?
No. From that point of view, maybe okay. But come on, it's like more than $1,000.
Oh my god, it's so expensive.
Well,
that's
their money.
Whole nother issue. We're trying to talk about salad master.
We're not trying to defame you, by the way.
Sorry to bring it up.
Oh god.
Oh my god. But I think it's great what you're doing because you're sort of learning from what you suffered and what you had to go through, and then helping others so that it's a little bit easier. But anyway, so with Gorkha Health Foundation, you do awareness talks about different health every month. Today we wanted to focus on sexual health because I feel like in our community, maybe in the youngsters we probably do it amongst each other. In our community we don't really openly talk about sexual health or even sex lives. In that matter.
Even in your friend circle or parents that
like
let's
a
not even
taboo,
go now. It's just awkward. It's like, Mum, you don't want to know about my sex life. It's the next topic. But how can we identify it? I know you can obviously look at 10,000, reading blogs and stuff, or even NHS website, I don't know. But I think let's talk about women, Gobarama.
I think it will be probably geared towards a little bit towards women. That we were thinking about how, women are it's so hard to recognize some of the symptoms. Like, for example, for thrush, like it took us years to go through it, then realize that, oh, actually, this is thrush, because now I'm knowing about it. But what other health issues, reproductive or not reproductive, sexual health issues that women could have?
So thrush sorry, I just keep on changing my legs.
That's okay.
Get all the time.
Big, comfortable,
So thrush is one of them, I know, and there's also something called bacterial vaginosis, which is probably like, oh my god, cute, they want it goes. And the thing is, like, the symptoms is very generic. You just get lots of like discharge, and so there might not be a particular color, they might just be clear, you know. There's sometimes the discharge itself might be very foul smelling, sometimes it could not be, sometimes you might just be getting a lot of discharge, and suddenly you might be very itchy down there, but it's quite sort of vague, so it's quite difficult to tell. And the only way you can diagnose it is if you do go to a sexual health clinic. GPs are running, to be honest, like they don't have all the necessary equipment to diagnose it there and then. They can kind of go off of your symptoms, and they can be like, why don't you try this medication, which would be for that BV one. Exactly. And if it works, if it is BV, then fine, I know. But I think usually say you want to go to a sexual health clinic because they would have the microscope or to look underneath the swab and then they'll find like some obviously
the bacteria that's causing
exactly
it,
and then they will give you advice. I think GP might say, they obviously, I'm not saying all GPs are like this, that I think they're very limited with their time, 15 minutes and for all sorts of issues from like your head to toe, whereas sexual health, they're kind of focused on that specific thing, so they will give you a lot of advice regarding how to prevent it from happening, because BV is one of those things that reoccurs again and again, and majority of it is to do with the fact that we use lots of products, and like for example washing products or shaving products or so those are the things that can stimulate it to come again and again. So BV is really one of them, and then obviously you have like the classical generic sexual health diseases or like for example chlamydia, and then you have gonorrhea, and all of these things I think when coming back to there's lots of blogs or there's lots of talks and I think Malabani, when I worked in the sexual health department for 4 months, I was so passionate because, like you say, I'm a Nepali community it's really unheard of to have sexual health talks. Mom and dad, brother, you can just eliminate that. That's never gonna happen to it. Even if you have like the most open mom and dad, I think at least our generation, maybe we will change. Maybe we will have these talks with our children. But up until our generation, I think we have to go and find ourselves. And what's this, what's that? So I think from that point of view, I would advise to all the youth out there, given my experience, like if you have anything down there that you're concerned of, you need to go to a sexual health clinic. And the thing is, sexual clinic whatever you have there, I think it's not put down on your records in terms of the medical records. I might be wrong, but I think when I was working, people would generally like prefer coming to us not just because that we're sexual health based, but if you have chlamydia, let's say, it wouldn't be on your records in your GP care. Do you know what I mean? And
so it's more discreet.
So it's not the same
and you
database
have your,
as NHS.
So you have a different like sexual health score, clinical like hospital number, let's say, and then you have a different hospital number for hospital care. And no one will be able to access your sexual health database.
That's a very thoughtful thing, because that could be one of the barriers why people don't seek help.
Exactly.
In terms of
I actually didn't know the database was different, and the fact that there was a different helpline for sexual health clinics.
Right.
So I think, Nepali Romanse, when I was, like I said, going back to working in the sexual health clinic, I was so passionate. I was like, I need to do this, and like I need to go out there, and thank you for giving me the opportunity, by the way, because I feel like I can do a bit of it here, and I was just so passionate, like I need to tell these youth, and like what protective sex is, and especially with chlamydia and gonorrhea, you're putting yourself at risk of being infertile in the future, and if you don't get it treated like as soon as possible, Tevaira, and you know, you just got to be protective. Everyone's having sex, and so you just got to do it like safely. Yeah, you know.
I mean, this was when I realized how serious gonorrhea could be. Because before this, I was like, okay, I know about STD, but I personally have never been checked. Like, I've never had that, kind of gone through that prevention route. Or no. That I work in the hospital, and then I had this young girl, like young 26-year-old, come in, right? And she wasn't even cheating or anything. She got gonorrhea through her boyfriend, who was out sleeping around. She became infertile. And, you know, to see her in that bed in the corner of that ward and just like trying to come to terms with how she can't have children anymore. It was so sad. Like, and this was through no fault of her own. Okay?
No,
like, she wasn't even being unprotective. She wasn't being this and that. All she was doing was sleeping with a boyfriend who, you know, basically betrayed her. And then now she can't have a child. And that's a lifelong thing for her.
It's very common in dating culture, because I'm out dating, I know, and everyone, obviously everyone's like having sex and whatnot and everything. And few of my friends are in the dating world as well. And some are into casuals and whatnot. But we always ask for what their STIs, you know, the test, have they run clear or whatever, because you are protected, but what if scenarios, you can never know neither. So obviously we are always like testing, you know, frequently. Thought I wanted to ask you a question, like, how often should one test? I know they say like twice a year. That's what I've heard, eh? But should you be testing after every partner's? But, I mean, sounds like it. Or
I think, you know, this is one thing that's very good. That's a very good question, because there is not like a sort of a minimum amount you need to test it, or a maximum. It is like you say, every partner that you have, that's different. If you're casual, especially, you need to test yourself, because you don't know what risk you're putting yourself under. And the one thing that I really like to empower women and men and everybody is that when you're meeting somebody new, just ask them, like, have you got any STIs? And I know it's a very tough conversation, but I think, you know, you'd rather know than not. But at the same time, I know that some partners feel like, you know, they don't want to reveal that, because especially like it's such a taboo topic. Like they might think that, oh, she won't want me, or he won't want me. And which is like, I get that, like that fear and you're being rejected because of this and a mistake in the past or whatever. That I think you have to have that conversation before you start with somebody new. And you should 100% not have sex before you have an STI check, because the thing is, you just never know. And I don't want it to be like a fearful thing, the topic of sex. I don't want it to be a fearful thing for our audience. That I think it's just in your best interest that you do get it checked. And obviously, if you do trust that partner, like, for example, through the casual go by, every time you have somebody new, you should check yourself. Whereas if you are with somebody that you've known for long term and you've been dating, you're in a relationship, you trust this person, then it's up to you, really. I think when you're in that trustful relationship, then I guess you might think there is no need of testing. But at the same time, it's up to you how your relationship is going, especially obviously from that experience. She obviously thought that she could trust him, but maybe there were some signs already, which is difficult to say. That it's up to you how often you want to test yourself.
I mean, to be honest, even if you are trusting each other, I think there's no harm in getting tested.
No, exactly.
And
you don't lose anything.
To me personally, if they are like a bit iffy about why do I need to get it tested, I'm just like, what else are you hiding then? It's a very like a sort of like a shady effect. So that's what my girls have been experiencing. So I just thought I'd ask you.
And I feel like any person with an open mind will not be offended by that question. And I think anybody who's out in the dating and wants to do it in a safer way will probably just be like, okay, let's do it then. Like,
and the thing is, you're not just helping yourself by asking them, you're kind of helping them as well, because maybe they are sort of reluctant to ask you the same question. So I feel like that this whole STI check needs to really be quite common, especially because
And that question could be one of your, okay, this is check,
checklist,
No STI. Okay, let's move on.
no, like if he responds well to that question, that could be like, okay, he
open-minded,
that's like my vibe check.
Yeah, because obviously if you want to be with someone, he has to be open-minded, no? And if they're getting a bit iffy about a question that is not
Red
even
flag.
that serious, then you just kind of think of what potentially, like what else is he holding back then for?
And the other thing is that STD checks are like free anyway.
Yeah.
So like you're not gonna lose any money. And obviously the only thing I think people are finding reluctant is that obviously address signs on the online online garden, so you have like your NHS one, or if you've got a sexual health clinic in Farnborough, let's say, they should have their own like website where you can order it from, and you address it obviously Garma unza, and you might be you might feel a bit reluctant. But as far as I know, they're always given in a very like generic box gap. So it's not like in
private
your face, screaming like sexual health check.
Not like a condom flying.
No, very, very real, exactly, less sort of out there,
because some of you people, we find it very daunting to actually, go there and get it checked by a professional. Because you're maybe not comfortable, but you do want to get it checked. Then those boxes are available.
Or you can just go to your sexual health clinic and just get it from there.
Oh, can you?
Yeah,
okay,
you
cool.
Like most sexual health clinics are like drop-ins.
They have
drop-in
drop-in zones. So because of COVID, it was a bit different, more camera but I'm sure they've started to open up to drop-ins now. And it's just a great place. Everyone is so supportive. Like everyone. Obviously, we know that it's a very private thing with the sexual life, and the doctors there that are working and the nurses there, they are in that field for a specific reason, to help everyone, and they're not going to be judgmental or anything like that. I've seen like Nepal got the own so I was just so glad that they knew about this service in the first place, rather than judging everything that might be happening in the background. So definitely visit.
Exactly. Let's not leave the boys out, Anna. What are one of the most common like sexual diseases that men get?
So men pani is chlamydia and gonorrhea. So that's why like when we do the STD check, there's 4 things that come with it. That's generically like we all test everybody. That's basically gonorrhea, chlamydia, HIV and syphilis, those 4 things. Homosexual men, or would say they're more obviously in at risk of getting HIV so they get tested for that like every time they come to the clinic. And then the other thing that I did not know before I started was that every homosexual men are eligible for HPV vaccine. So women get it, HPV, whereas they are also eligible to get that vaccine as well.
Wait a minute,
amongst other
forgive me,
vaccines.
I don't know what HPV is.
Human papillomavirus.
Human papillomavirus.
I
the
know
thing that you get sort of cervical test for. 1 point to you.
My science teacher would be proud.
So Unaru say they do get eligible.
It's quite common as well. And I didn't know there was a vaccine, by the way. I didn't know.
Do men have something like, we have thrush. Do men have something that's
they can get that.
They
can get something called balanitis. So I guess like they're I know
the higher.
If I was going to say water, I have to say something in Nepali. I'm like, I don't know what that word is in Nepali.
It doesn't sound nice, I tell you that.
So it's just basically the glands, the penis got their toguns, and it sounds really weird. So then it's say inflammation back, and it could be for all sorts of reasons. It could just be like, I don't know, hygiene, it could be some level of infection, but again, it's also to do with like products or when you use it. But everyone that we see in the sexual health clinic, we're always like, just wash with water once you get something done. And I don't have any like body shampoo or body washes like just clean it with water once.
What about femme freshes?
Oh,
because it's a whole market.
My sister uses it. I don't. I'm like, I don't know which way to go.
I don't know about that. Femme fresh.
Femme fresh is like a little wash.
They've been advertised for vaginal washing.
Oh, interesting.
Like, as in, like, outer washing,
not like douching.
Vaginal douching that you shouldn't do.
Yeah. But it's just like for the outside step, okay?
Oh.
So they've been advertised it as like, okay, if you do this, you're gonna be fresh. Type of.
Interesting. I'm afraid. We definitely didn't advise that anyway. We were just like water.
Just water then. There you go.
Yeah. Femme fresh, I don't know what the ingredients are. Water matters then maybe it would be fine.
No. Definitely not buying
water. Oh yeah, perfume product say we usually say no.
Yeah. I've stopped using perfume products in my body all in all anyway. Minus like lotion sometimes, of course.
Yeah.
But like no perfume body washes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Sanex is the way to go. Well, why are we advertising things for free?
Brands.
Sponsor us, Sana.
You know what?
Sorry.
Dead now.
Do you know what? It's probably because you had sakula yesterday.
Yeah,
I know. It's just really awkward, like cameraman. Hold on, I might have
just
to
stretch your legs out there.
But you know, it's dead as in like I'm so sorry. You have to cut.
I want to pinch it. I don't want
to. This whole leg. Don't worry, it's not you guys. It's just my leg. Anyway, go on.
When we swapped, we used to have chairs for the podcast, and we swapped. We said like, okay, chokati, like Nepali feel. Let's do it.
Vibes.
And and then people were like asking us, so why the downgrade? And I'm like, what do you want to downgrade? Like,
basically,
we haven't
Nepalese
gone
culture.
quarter.
If you sit down, it's basically a downgrade type content. Like, because people in the past, they used to sit down and eat and whatever.
So they call this a downgrade?
Yeah.
What? I love the vibe.
Yeah.
I was like, how many people sit on the floor for a podcast? Excuse me.
I know. Clearly, they're missing out. Maybe we won't invite them next time. Joking. We still love you.
But yeah, I think like STDs that you can probably like read millions and millions of things about them on the internet. It's so readily available now, and the information. But be mindful though, like don't just go into any blog or anything. Like go into like proper trusted sources and
NHS websites.
Yeah. So let's go into prevention then. What could people do apart from like using condoms? Like what are some of the common mistakes that people make when preventing STDs?
So I think prevention you reduce the risk obviously of getting or passing on sexually transmitted infections by using protective measures like condoms or femidoms right now. And I think that, to be honest, that's the best we can do. Really. There is obviously being aware. You have to be aware of the risks that you are getting yourself into right now. So first of all, I would always suggest you, if you're not really entirely sure about certain sexual health diseases or infections then there is this thing where you can go to a sexual health clinic to seek more advice, because it's not just you have to have something to go there. You can just go there for some information, how to, even like for example, when you talk about sexual sex education, I'm not sure how many people do receive it, and even if they do, maybe they weren't in that class at that point in time, so you don't know what's going on, what is safe sex. So I think even for information purposes, I would always suggest you to go to a sexual health clinic, because they are the experts. They're there for a reason. And then obviously protective measures like condoms and femidoms, they're absolutely important. They reduce the risk. It's not that they all eliminate the risk. It's only 100%. Now we can never guarantee that they do reduce the risk. And then the prevention measures also would be testing yourself, because that is very important. You need to know what you have in your own body, because it's not just the fact that it affects your genital organs in terms of just the vagina and the penis, like visually, we only care about what we see aesthetically, visually, if there are some like inflammation and all that sort of stuff, we're like, so you need to be aware of that. So I think sexually, so testing yourself regularly or as much as you want to is something to help prevent as well, for sexually transmitted infections for yourself and the other your partner. And then just being aware really, and advising everybody, like if you've got somebody who's actively sexually active at the moment, and you can have this conversation with them, it is good to have that conversation. Like I think we do have a sexual health we do have a sexual health clinic, not clinic, sorry, You know, I had sakila yesterday, so I'm like, there
still in the sakila
I'm
mood.
still there dancing.
We're testing our medical knowledge.
Getting like really we were given some under pressure. We do have a sexual health topic coming up as well.
Okay.
I think it's in June.
Yeah.
Maybe next month or
Okay.
as far as I'm
Perfect
concerned.
timing.
Yeah, so because we, like I said, not the clinically gorda hiri, I just thought we really ought to give all the information out. I know
Definitely.
I've spoken about chlamydia and then gonorrhea a little bit. There's also something called herpes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It comes back.
Yeah, that one
recurrent
just
one.
you can never be cured of it, really.
it
And
just
I don't want to like
back.
scare you by saying that yeah, it is a viral thing, and any sort of viruses, they do live on, you know, and if your immune system is a bit bad, or if you're kind of, your body's very stressed, right? It reoccurs, and you get a flare up, and it's quite painful, and that sort of thing. So it happens like elsewhere in the genital organs as well. It's not just specifically that part, so you are at risk of transmitting it. But you can have like good antiviral medications to suppress that anyway. Get to a point where if it's not there, then you're less likely to pass it on. That I think prevention measures, going back to it, it's just STI testing, making people aware whenever you can, and then just protective measures. As far as I know from the top of my head, these three come up in my
Pretty basic stuff, yet they do so much to keep you safe, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I think
And it's very accessible as well.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to go somewhere. You can just order it from anywhere in the world to your house.
They're probably free.
It's free.
Excuse me. If they're free, you know, our pads aren't. They're free, so take it while you can.
No, 100%, yeah. And I think like GP records or like even if you go to the hospital, they will not be able to access your sexual health clinic data at all. Okay? So let's say, you know, one person's admitted for, if you have HIV, let's say, HIV go pani, oh my god, we've progressed so much with regards to treatment. You can have good amount of antivirals, like, you know, you can get treated for the HIV to a point where you don't pass it on.
Wow.
You know, so that's so, I know we've progressed
hitting
so
milestones
much.
here.
Exactly. And I was so surprised because I know I'm a doctor, before this health, like we didn't, like, it's so, not frustrating, but our medical curriculum, sexual health isn't really covered much.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
a
so
shame.
So I'm so grateful that I ended up having this rotation. Because I'm going to say about generic training with the head. So we rotate every 4 months to give us an idea of certain specialties to see whether or not we want to go ahead with that.
Yes.
So me as a sexual health as an F2 anyway. So last year and then we were just talking about these antivirals or HIV, and then like I was so shocked. I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing, and not many people know this. And as soon as you hear HIV, you're like, oh my god, I don't want to have sex, or I don't want to get to know you. It's such a taboo thing, and it makes it difficult for that person, and neglected from the community, you know. But I say if you're like viral load once again, you get your blood test and your viral load I can't remember exactly the numerical that if it's less than that specific amount, then you know what, you can have sex without making making that person at risk of getting it.
That's so wonderful. That's so wonderful as well. We've come a long way, guys. We've come a long way. But I guess...
I still remember when I was a child, there was still not much awareness about people. HIV used to be like, oh my god, like a death sentence.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Like not only body-wise and your health-wise, but also socially. Like you wouldn't go near that person. You wouldn't touch that person.
Exactly.
You wouldn't share anything with that person. It used to be a death sentence. From that to now, like in my own little span of lifetime, like that has come to this. I'm like really happy for them.
No, this is amazing because I don't know, like all these people who've been isolated so far, like we've already discussed, and when we were growing up, to me, sexual health was the diseases that they only had STDs or STIs were probably just HIV and gonorrhea that covered in Hamro school book, whatever. But I didn't know herpes would come back. I only recently found out this is why. I mean, I'm just like, wow. Because honestly, telling you, girls group chat is the place where you want to be. I was like, what?
To get all the latest beats in.
And then it's crazy. And it's quite nice that we have a trusted friend circle that we can have conversations like this and exchange. But not all of people have that. No. So it's glad that we are making this podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you're here to enlighten us with these.
Thank you. God. And sorry, did you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
The other thing I wanted to add, like, you know, it's been a while and everything's just popping up in my head like fireworks. Yeah. But the other thing is, like, if you end up going to sexual health and get diagnosed with, let's say, chlamydia or gonorrhea, you have this thing called partner notification. So if you're casual and you don't really know where you got it from, but what they can do is, like, you can give your number to them, and then I think there is the ability to notify everyone who you did share a bed with or have sex with, that, you know, one of this person has got this, so you need to get yourself checked.
It's basically like a COVID.
It's like it's track and trace. So partner notification. So you don't have to. I mean, we will always say, you know, advice gone to socks and that, really. Like, please tell everybody, or not everybody, but like tell people you slept with that you ended up testing. Ended up, you know.
Everybody who's had sex with you for the past, everybody gonna get yourself.
Exactly. They will speak up on like that.
I have this.
I mean, to be honest, I wish we could live in a world like that, and anyway, it's so open and only that we can talk about this like that. But yeah, you can have this partner notification as well.
That's so cool.
You know, this makes me, like, honestly enough, you know, when track and trace came from COVID, people were like, oh yeah, this government is trying to, you know, spy on us and all that. Like, it's been fucking going on for years, right? So we just didn't know about it. So
we were not aware of it, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't know the partner notification.
I think it's just to make everyone comfortable.
Yeah.
And plus, you don't have to have the awkward conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi,
and it's quite
from
essential.
10 years. I've got chlamydia. I don't know if it's you, but...
And the other also thing is, in terms of going back to testing, so with chlamydia and gonorrhea, now let's say you've had sex with somebody and you test yourself immediately, that can come back false negative.
Yes, I know. It takes 2 weeks.
2 weeks, exactly. Yeah. So you need to give a window of 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, before you have sex with somebody, or even after you have sex with somebody, if you give about 2 weeks, then that gives us that window to detect these microbes.
Oh,
so if you have
you have to have like COVID, you have to have a certain amount of virus in you to be detected in the test.
Something like that. At the same time, it's just to sort of say that if you get yourself tested too quickly, that can be false negative, especially if you've got symptoms. You know what I mean? So you can just sort of have symptoms, let's say, and then you get like an STI check like 2-3 days later. Then you test yourself as negative and you're thinking, oh, it's negative. It's nothing like that. It's just going to go away. But actually, you need to give it at least about 2 weeks for it to detect anything, so that if it is positive, then you would know. Then you go get yourself treated. But I would suggest, like, despite of you having sex or not, still get symptoms, men or women. You just need to go to the doctor, really.
Right. So, like, the defrosting or whatever cooling off period applies to your body as well, not just your defrosting purchase from the store. 14 days return.
14 days. And HIV is the same as well. They have, like, I think about only 3 months, depending on the test that you do. The one thing that I would like to, this is very important as well, with HIV, if you think you've had sex with somebody who's got HIV, because I've had cases where they just get informed body, they've had sex, and then they're like, by the way, I have HIV, can't go get. Or it could be that they could be truthful about it, or they could be spiteful about it, and just to get you shaken up a little bit. So if you're ever in the situation where you're in doubt of HIV, you have access to emergency antivirals through your ED, your emergency department. If you go tell them that I've had sex with somebody and I'm at risk of HIV because they said I've got HIV, then they can give you like a quick emergency stack of antivirals, or you can go to a sexual health clinic if it's not like out of hours. So 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, depending on the sexual health clinic open times, you can go to them and then they can give you like an antiretroviral.
What about pharmacies?
I don't know if pharmacies stock them.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
but the emergencies, I know for a
Definite.
fact A&E mounts are and sexual clinics mounts are.
Is there like a time window you have to get
You have to get it within 72 hours.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
just like Plan B.
Yeah,
Plan B
72
pills.
hours,
Yeah.
and then you'll have to have like that antivirals for like a month. It is very good because it can sort of prevent, transmission. Baniga. That's really important. A lot of people don't know. They just sit around like, oh, HIV, like you got no.
Okay.
That is so bad though. But is it a crime that if you have HIV and you don't tell your sexual partner, would that be a crime or?
That's a very ethical dilemma.
Yeah.
If you have HIV, you don't have to tell people. So that is confidentiality.
Yeah.
So if somebody has HIV and they're sleeping, they don't have to tell their partners or whoever they're sleeping with. However, if we come to realize that they are going around and somehow intentionally spreading it and their viral load isn't suppressed and they're not taking antiretrovirals and we think that they are actually at risk or the community is at risk from that, then in the best interest of the community, there is a chance to get the police
It's almost
involved.
like a safeguarding
Yeah,
issue.
exactly.
It becomes a
Because
safeguarding
the
issue.
thing is, like we said again, HIV, like this social neglect,
of
isolation, so we don't want our HIV community to feel like they are having a death sentence scare, when they have HIV and all of a sudden we have to tell everybody. So it's not like that. The practice is different here anyway in the UK. I'm not sure in other parts of the world. That if you do have HIV, then you're not inclined to tell your partners. Even some, they could be a married couple actually, and the wife or the husband would have never known that the other has HIV.
Yeah.
But then they are taking their medications. Their viral load is suppressed. So it's not like they are. I mean, there is a certain amount of risk there. It's not like that they are going around spreading it to the community.
So if it's like suppressed in a marriage couple, for example, so if they have a child, would they have very active or would it be suppressed when they were born?
So if somebody has HIV, from my knowledge, if you're planning pregnancy, then if for example the woman has HIV and then let's say they don't want their partner to know, and then obviously there is that fetal transmission. Then you do have to obviously get checked by your sexual health doctors and then the maternity doctors as well. And if you're gonna tell them that you have HIV, because the thing is you want to put them on like antivirals as well as soon as possible, to maybe a higher dose or maybe something else that does not affect the fetus. And because with any medication, if you can have the possibility of affecting the fetus as well. So you need to rethink your medications, what you're on, and maybe get a higher dose to suppress that transmission gap. So that is that. But if a male gets HIV, if a male has HIV and then women doesn't know, then obviously that's actually a very good situation that I don't know about, I'm afraid.
So like a lot of like sexual health when it comes to male, they are a bit uninformed as well. It's not as active as us women. Because do they have like cervical screening just studied as a male? I don't think they do.
I guess they have like prostate cancer screening, but that would be like the later stages of their life, because that's when the risk would be higher. For us, like women body, man, it's so bloody complicated. We have to just bloody get cervical screening. We have to get but I guess we visit GPs for a lot of stuff that's to do with reproductive area, Anita. So like pregnancy, everything. We are like under constant watch and taken good care of, I guess. So we would obviously be a bit more informed about things. And plus, I think we do sometimes bear the more consequences of unprotected sex, like pregnancy, So we have to be that extra vigilant gender, I guess. But when you were talking about ED and the and emergency antiviral, like this thing, Plan B pill popped into my head. Okay, so our friend, my friend, when she used to work at GP, she used to tell me that we used to have young Nepalese girls come in, or quite often, for like Plan B pills because they've had a one night stand or whatever, and probably because they weren't that informed about other ways of preventing pregnancy. So Plan B pill, how I guess it's effective, but how much is too much?
That's a very good question, actually. I think at the end of the day, any sort of medication, specific answers but going back to the knowledge, is like any sort of pill, anything, too much of anything can make you sick. And I think that obviously it is a hormonal treatment at the end of the day. Obviously, if you're having sex and then like every other day you're having like the morning after pill, I would assume that it will have some sort of effect on your system. But I think the best way to go about that is preventative measures. But like you said, that's actually a good point that you put across, that you can get morning after pill as well, like the Plan B pill. If you've had sex with somebody with, unprotected sex, and then all of a sudden you're at risk of getting pregnant, then you can get that morning after pill, which you can buy at the pharmacy, which is like £20-30. You can get it for free from the sexual health clinic. So that's why, again, sexual health clinic is very important. That I think too much of anything is not really good for your system, especially if it's a hormonal treatment. It's any hormones, obviously there's a lot of effects that can have on your body. It can put you at risk of a lot of things. So I think having it all the time would certainly do you harm more than good.
Because what I was told was that because it's an emergency pill, it's a very high dose, and that could, if you are regularly taking Plan B pills and not going about other methods of contraception, that could, I don't know. I just wanted to know a bit more about whether
and there are like Plan Bs that is beyond 72 hours as well now. So there's like 5 days go. So if you're like, I've crossed 72 hours now, I'm just gonna wait till I get pregnant, you can still go to your pharmacy.
You know a lot, man. You don't need me for this.
The girls group chat, I'm telling you.
I think that's one good thing about girls. Sorry, we have several good things. But one of the things that I'm really proud of that is that we're very in tune with our body, especially now. Okay, we're very aware about our body, and to the point where we're like, there are apps where you track your periods, you track your ovulation.
I use Flow.
Me too. Flow is pretty accurate.
Is so good.
Not throwing sponsorship again. No, but it's really good. And when I went for my cervical screening, the nurse, she asked me, how's your period flow, and I was like, I have an app, and she's like, everyone uses app these days. I'm like, I like these tech women out there.
I don't.
Taking care.
Only because I'm 34 tomorrow. Only because I've probably lived a bit longer. It's not sounding like an old woman, but and my periods are pretty regular, pretty accurate, and I can tell when I'm ovulating because when you're ovulating, like depending on which side you are, like you do get a little bit of a cramp on that side, and your discharge becomes different. And
I wish I could know.
I don't have that. Mine's
more
more obvious.
It's so irregular. It's always been irregular.
It's
always been irregular since like I started. So it's so difficult. I think I love that.
There are apps for that now if you're irregular.
Like I have irregular periods because of PCOS, and no apps could detect it, but Flow manages it. Like I'm expecting period today. If not today, tomorrow, I was okay. Even with irregular periods, and I'm like, damn you, who's behind this? It's so good.
It's spying on me.
I'm so glad that it works.
I want to try this then. Just for
and
fun,
it has like it's not just a period tracker, so you can add like all sorts of symptoms that you get. Oh my god, it feels like we're actually sponsored by this.
And you can literally to the T, like if you've had sex, if you've masturbated, everything you can put it on the app.
And you get like health information as well for certain, like if you get a brown discharge, what could it be? And you can learn more about your reproductive system, your menstrual cycle on the app. It's
and
actually quite good.
Are you anxious? You happy? You feeling?
How you feeling?
I love.
It's like a picture.
It's really thought. Like somebody's really put like thought into it. It probably is women behind it.
Behind it.
100%. I mean, no offense to men that are. You don't know what we go through during these times.
She probably had like a frustrated partner who would just be like, just deal with it. You fine. Put it on the app.
What are you feeling today? No, how are you feeling?
They should have a little journal on the side.
Since you didn't ask, she asked.
I love that. Yeah, it's so good.
Opening line of an argument.
Yeah.
Since you didn't ask, she asked.
She's gonna use that. I know it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Sometimes in this podcast, I love how we go into using humor to make fun of men and their shortcomings.
We should do that more often.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a learning curve. You should be used as a learning curve for men. Like men sitting behind cameras, you know.
He's just like, why am I here?
This is very outnumbered. But yeah, I actually love how this technology has become so advanced that you can do so much. And right on your screen, you don't even have to go talk to anybody.
Exactly,
you just literally go on there. Oh,
and if you're on if you've got contraception as well, you can put an alarm clock to see when to tell you when to take it as well.
That's so cool. Yeah. That is very cool. There you go, ladies. Get yourself a Flow app. Not sponsored.
You have to pay for it though.
You do? It's not a free.
No, you have to pay for it.
I don't know. Like my friend said, do you pay for it? But I don't pay for it. But maybe
are you sure you check your bill?
I
pay for it. Oh. No, you can pay yearly or you can pay monthly. I paid a year.
Okay, maybe I've already paid for it then.
But it's not like a lot. I think it's like £20 maybe.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I've already paid because I can access everything. So yeah, probably I've paid for it because she was like, I can't get hold of it. How are you getting hold of it? But again, probably
maybe Mersha got it free because she's an influencer.
Oh. No, I wish I was. No, I don't wish that.
Yeah. Celebrity trying to be celebrity.
So basically, inside joke, celebrity is a watered down version of the Instagram celebrity.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. No,
that's what we get called.
I love that.
Was like, you guys, you're not at the celebrity level yet, but you're definitely a celebrity. And I'm like, thanks.
Oh my god, everybody loves celebrities. Come on.
Yeah.
My mom went to Sakura just for celebrities.
I love it. Do you get free celebrities there?
No.
You have to
pay for it.
Excuse me,
we have to pay like £5 for like all of them. And actually, no, do you know what? It's a good price, guys. Right? People are always thinking about the community. Very good celebrity as well. I've got one celebrity who's really good.
Oh,
that's fine. It's actually cheaper than what you'd get in London. London prices are peak.
Oh, really? London magkano?
Not really anywhere, but just talking about like
but
snacks if you were to buy.
Alu
dam and celery is quite filling,
Yeah.
One celery and alu, you're full till dinner.
I know. How did this talk end up?
We just blabber. I told you I blabber.
No, we had to. We took like a year of practice to sort of not go off topic. At first, you should listen to our first podcast.
And we still fail.
Off topic, so
we still fail. It's okay.
But it's nice to have other conversation in between. You know?
Just
not go off on a tangent for like an hour.
Yeah, because that gets boring though. Otherwise, I know. Let's talk about motivation.
This is like kind of a break, I know.
Yeah.
So yes, we're not so serious. We do talk about celebrity and all that as well.
Love it.
But what were we on about? Technology.
I guess we were pretty much wrapping up at this point. But yeah, you need to get that Flow app, mate. It's good.
I think I'll really good. Try.
Good.
Oh my God.
But I think if you know your body, I think obviously no app can obviously be in place of that. I think I wish I had that where I just knew my body I
didn't know you get like a cramp on one side of your...
I do get cramps though.
You notice it I have regular periods, so around like the second week, like 14th day, 15th day, around that time, right in the middle of two periods, I will get like either this side or this side will have like little, it's a very mild form of, what a period cramp would feel like, but it will be like just on the sides. Like it, I guess it's the bloody...
I only know my PMS week because I have an appetite of a horse that week. I just eat like a lot, and I know my period is coming 2 days before. I'm just like, I hate all penises. Fuck men. And then I'm like, okay, it's coming 2 days later. Boom.
Well, you've got the aura.
You do get irritated quite
Oh my God.
Well, I think it's the medic in me. Every time I have a cramp, I just find like I just feel like there's like like a cyst that bursts and then there's like free fluid in the tuyo. Just so like
Do you just do this?
I know.
Like,
Sometimes when you say ignorance is bliss, that is so true. After I started working in hospital, and when you become aware about so many, especially in A&E, you become aware about so many things that could go wrong just because of one symptom. You start analyzing it, like automatically just autopilot analyzing. It could be that.
Yeah,
it could be. There's a chance it could be. It becomes like
hypochondriac.
Yeah.
Oh
man, I love that.
Yeah, sexual health is very important, guys.
Thanks coming back because we're all having sex, whether we're telling it out or not. We're all having sex. Yeah.
I really want to throw this dialogue from Three Idiots. Chupata koi nahi. So dikhata koi nahi chupate. Oh God, that dialogue was iconic. I'm sorry. Thank you, Supriya, for coming to our studio and blessing us with this a lot of sex, joyous knowledge
Thank you so much for having me. But I completely forgot because I was so under pressure.
Yeah, we were waiting for that, by the way.
No, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate that you reached out to me and I wish that this channel just grows and grows and grows.
Like the virus.
Not the sexual virus thing. But yeah.
Wrong. That was not the intention of this podcast. Like wrong info.
I hope they get my humor at this point. Come on.
I love your humor. I actually love it. So hopefully next time when I'm like, I don't know, a specialist, I'll come and talk to you guys about more things.
We like that.
Doctor aside, I can talk about other things as well, by the way, I guess.
Yeah, and Nepalese people, and just generally everyone, but especially Nepalese people, do follow Gorkha Health Foundation because they cover topics like what I've seen is diabetes, hypertension is basically either your mom or your dad has.
Specific. Yeah.
So please go rather than going to Google or following this Facebook uncle aunties and being like, I should be drinking Zamara juice or whatever. Yeah. Please just go to the resources and actually
get it straight from the doctors.
Straight from there. Yeah.
Oh, we're here for you. I know.
Oh, that's cute. We're here for you.
That's the tagline of the workout foundation.
Hi, I'm Supriya. We're here for you.
We're here for you. Stethoscope
Please edit that in. We're here for you. We're here for the community. And like you said, check out our Instagram page. We're gonna do talk on stroke on this month, MERI MINA. June month might be sexual health as well.
Okay.
If you have any topics that you want to specifically talk about, then we're more than happy and open to that suggestion. And we're also very informal. Again, like Dr. Wanda, just like but we're look at me.
You know, my mom.
I'm like,
my mom today. I was like, we've got Dr. Supriya in the studio, and she's like, are you gonna wear that? I was like, what's wrong with this? And she's like,
you look beautiful.
I'm like, bro.
No, white lab coat laga
we're just humans. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hi, Sudhir.
There